Chapter 11 from A Boy at War by Harry Mazer. There was only one oar in the boat. Adam used it like a canoe paddle, swinging it from one side to the other. "I'm coming!" he yelled. But it was slow going. The boat kept swinging the wrong way, fighting him and bucking him like a mule. He cursed and yelled. It was so hard to keep the boat on course. It was taking so long to get to Martin and Davy. He kept looking up, afraid the planes would come back. The sky was obscured by black smoke. But at moments it cleared and he saw the green sugarcane fields in the distance, and beyond them, the quiet mountains. It was unreal. It was unreal. The battleships half sunk, the bullet holes in the boat, Davy and Martin in the water. When he reached them, they were clinging to the other oar. He saw that something was wrong with Martin. Davy got right in the boat, but Martin wouldn't. He wouldn't do anything. He was afraid to move. A splinter the size of a pencil was sticking out of his chest. It moved every time he breathed. It made Adam sick to look at it. "Take it out," he said. "I can't. It's sticking out my back." "No, it isn't," Davy said. "I told you it wasn't. I looked." "I can't," Martin said. "Leave me alone." Adam exchanged a glance with Davy. "You row," Davy said. "I'll hold him." He leaned over and grabbed Martin's shirt. It was hard rowing with Martin like a dead weight in the water. Adam rowed, staring blindly at the battleships in front of him like a city on fire. At the opposite shore, Adam slid the boat in among the pilings, then just sat there. He was exhausted. It took him and Davy both to get Martin up the ladder to the pier. Martin was pale, as if all the blood had drained out of him. Davy went up first, reaching down to hold Martin. Adam supported him from behind. That was the way they went up, one rung at a time. When they reached the pier, Martin sank down beside a pile of gravel. He didn't say anything, but his eyes scared Adam. He patted Martin's shoulder. He didn't know what to say. The pier was twisted, chaotic mess. It was like an anthill that had been kicked open. Sheds and ships were torn apart. Men were running every which way, dragging water hoses, crouched behind gun emplacements. A black sedan was weaving its way down the pier, detouring around holes and hunks of concrete and torn metal and dangling wires. "See that car?" Adam said to Davy. "Maybe they'll take Martin to a doctor." Davy grunted. He was barely speaking to Adam. Adam wanted to tell Davy that he was sorry he'd grabbed him in the boat. He couldn't explain it. It was just something that happened. Something stupid like hitting himself in the head with a brick. It was as if an evil spirit had grabbed him, taken him over. It had to do with his father and the Arizona and being scared to death. He was going to apologize to Davy, but not now. The important thing now was to get help for Martin. Davy was talking to a sailor who was standing nearby with a pistol in his hand. Suddenly, he hit Davy with a gun and knocked him down. "Jap!" he yelled. "I've got a Jap!" Adam ran, yelling at the sailor. "Stop! Don't! Stop it!" He hardly knew what he yelled. "We're Americans! Americans!" Men kept running and pulled the sailor away. Adam helped Davy up. He was shaking and there was blood on his face. The black car had stopped near them. "Put him in," the driver said. "I'm taking wounded." She was wearing a Red Cross uniform. Davy got into the car and Adam ran back for Martin. When the car was full, Adam jumped on the running board and hooked his arm around the center post. He was putting his head in the car. Martin and Davy were squeezed together in the back seat next to a couple of wounded men. "Here we go," Adam said as the car started to move. "It's going to be okay." He wanted to reassure them and himself too that their luck was changing. His father was going to be okay too. But the sight of the wounded men and Martin gasping for breath and Davy with his bruised face made him shut up. The car turned when an explosion shook the pier and it spun out of control. It swung one way and then the other. Adam was thrown off. The car was heading straight into the harbor, but at the last minute, it righted itself and kept going.